Okay, so we continue our football club history series, but we're going to continental Europe for this one. We're going to Germany to be very, very specific, and we're looking at a club that has underachieved massively. It's Bayer Leverkusen. In their existence since 1904 and since being in the Bundesliga since 1979, it took that long to get German top-flight football. They've only won 2 major trophies. But let's have a look at their foundation. And let's have a look at why they're called Bayer Leverkusen. Now, the Bayer Corporation is a big pharmaceuticals company. Now, if you look at the Bayer Leverkusen logo, you will notice the Bayer name and the Bayer symbol, I think number 04 in that logo, because they're founded in 1904. Now, yeah, when you go to the pharmacist, have a look to see if your medicine's been made by the Bayer Corporation. So they predate World War I, but as I say, it does take until 1979 for them to finally make the Bundesliga. But since they've been in the Bundesliga, they've never been relegated out of it. So that's 43 years they have stayed in the German top flight. That is not bad going. They currently play out of the Bay Arena, which seats 30,210. Now, some of the interesting facts about Bayer Leverkusen. They've been a runner-up in the Bundesliga 5 times without winning the Bundesliga. That is a record. So they've not had a single league title since 1979, since being in the Bundesliga. And being runner-up 5 times without winning is currently a league record. They want someone else to break that eventually, so it's no longer them, but that is a fun little interesting fact. Their first major trophy is not a domestic trophy, it's a European trophy, so very similar to what Villarreal did last year. That is also interesting of note. And they've also been runners-up in a UEFA Champions League final. So there we go, against the great Real Madrid side with Zinedine Zidane in the midfield, and he scores that, wonder goal that wins them the game. Now, let's have a look at some of the honours then. There's only 2, so it won't take too long. Their only domestic honour is the DFB-Pokal, which is the German equivalent of the FA Cup, and they do that in the 92-93 season, so 29 years ago, as I'm recording this video. If they don't win any silverware next year, it'll be 30 years since they last won silverware, so there's a very, very long time without winning anything. But their first major honour comes 5 years previously in the 87-88 season, where they win the old UEFA Cup, which is now known as the Europa League. So they have actually had European success. So they have been a very, very decent European side. They've won one European final and lost another. That's not bad going. And the fact that their first silverware they win of a major honour is a European honour, that has got to be a pretty rare feat. I think Villarreal are the only other club I can think of that have won a European trophy before winning a domestic one. So there we go. Their records. Now let's have a look at their appearance and their goals record. Now this guy, he wins both trophies with the club, is Rüdiger Vollborn with 483 appearances in all competitions between 1982 and 1999. That is a fantastic long career. You won't see careers of that length very often these days. It's a rare feat to have a career that can last that long. That's nearly 20 years. That is a fantastic career. The goal-scoring record for the club, and he was top goal scorer in the Bundesliga for 3 separate seasons, is Ulf Kirsten with 220, and he scored those goals between 1990 and 2003, so he wins the DFB Pokal with the club, and their biggest rivals are FC Cologne. So yes, when I say a brief history of Bayer Leverkusen, I really mean that. For a top-flight German side, and German football is actually far more competitive than the mainstream media will have you believe, and social media would have you believe, with Bayern Munich's league all the time and Bayern Munich winning all the trophies, because they don't do that. Bayer Leverkusen only winning 2 major honours in that period is stunning. Eintracht Frankfurt and Borussia Mönchengladbach, 2 other German clubs I've done videos on, have won more silverware. And that is fact. We're not denying that. Leverkusen, I am surprised by the lack of silverware. I knew they hadn't won much, and I knew they'd been close in my lifetime to win the Bundesliga several times, but I was not actually aware until I dug deep into their history. And since 1979, they've only won 2 trophies. But they did come in a purple patch in the late 80s, early 90s. They actually had a pretty good side up until the 2010s. They had a very, very good side throughout the 2000s as well into the 2010s. So they weren't a bad side. They've been regularly appearing in Europe, but only 2 trophies to show for it. But there we go. There's a brief history of Bayer Leverkusen. I am actually stunned by that lack of success. And going forward, some of the clubs we're going to look at are going to have a lot more success. So, yeah, the pages are going to get full up pretty quick. But yeah, compare them to St. Mirren. St. Mirren have got more trophies of major honours than Leverkusen. Admittedly, Leverkusen have a European title, but St. Mirren, a club that we did the previous video on, have got 4 major trophies. Leverkusen have 2. So that is quite stunning in comparison when you look at major honours achieved. Leverkusen quite low down on the achievement list there. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please place in the comments section below other German clubs or other European clubs in the top 2 tiers of whatever league system they're in you want me to look at, because I will. There are some real interesting ones I want to dig into, like Real Betis, Athletic Bilbao, Racing Santander. There's some big name clubs that haven't quite got the silverware in recent times, but are reasonably successful throughout their history. Other than your big names like your Bayern Munichs, your Real Madrids, your Barcelonas, your PSGs, there are other clubs that I can obviously look at. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please place your comments in the comment section below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.